That's real close. Trying to get this spacing on the top even. This little flat right here on both sides, I'm trying to get it symmetrical all the way down and out. And from here forward, it's going to taper way in. I'm okay with that, but I'm just trying to get it, the top of it, symmetrical. I got that top spacing pretty close. What I'm doing here on the bottom side is see how thin this comes up. It tapers. This comes up to a taper. This is just a square edge. The thickness between here and here is correct, but the outside shape of it has got a kind of hard to hold this with one hand and my armpit while I'm holding this camera with the other hand. Anyway, this is too square. It's got to come in and roll over. So that's what I'm working on now. there's a little flat place right across the top of this, from this sharp edge where the clip drops in over to where this rounds up and just tapers off and stops. There's a line right there. The intersection of two planes is a line according to geometry. And this little flat place needs to be symmetrical. And it's not the same from end to end, but it needs to be the same on both sides. And I think it looks to me like it is. Now this one has been rounded off heavily. They have rounded this flat. They've taken that little sharp, and it's not really that sharp, but they've taken it completely off. Because of the milling processes of commercially made guns, they run them over a buffing system that just kind of buffs everything off. There's no sharp edges left on a commercially made gun. Even this right here, which should be sharp because the metal comes right even with that, it's got a little dip in it. On a handmade stock, you control better where the abrasive gets to. So this is a razor edge right in here, and it needs to be. These little finger grooves right here, I'm going to leave them out. When you drop the clip in there, the idea is you can push the button to release the clip and you can pull it out. Well, if it's made properly and if it fits well and the spring works well, all you have to do is turn it over and it'll just drop right out in your hand. When you push the button, it'll just fall out because there's a spring in that follower. So I'm going to leave these out. It's less for something to catch on that clip and hang on it, and it's just a little bit more protection for the metal around that area. I'm going to leave them out for the time being. When I get it all put together, before I finish it, I'll put it in there and make sure everything works like I want it to. And if I have to have them, I'll put them in there. But for right now, I'm not going to. So I think I'm ready to go. I've got it from here back done. I think I'm ready to go from here forward. I wish I had a way to hold on to it while I do that. I'm going to use these blocks. I have cut a concave on the inside of this right here, and they fit the convex of this fat spot. And this is not milled. This is not finished off on the sides yet. It's done on the top and bottom, but the sides are still raw and in need of work. So I can hug those sides like this, and then this is a very fragile piece, so it's so hollow up inside there but I could crush it, and I've not ever done it, but it wouldn't be that hard to crush something like this. But it'll let me hold it to work this front end down. Now I've got to take this thing down to this width, providing I'm going to keep this same shape, which I call a triangle. These guns of the 60s were kind of patterned after the World War II rifles, the carbines and things of World War II, and I called it a triangle because it's like this side and this side come off and it's flat on the bottom, and it just has that kind of a triangular look to it. I don't really care for that, but I'm kind of locked into it on this one because you got so much cut away inside of here on both sides that you have to leave some wood on the outside of this. And then if you take off the top, you end up with a triangle. And the only way you can get away from that is to make this a big round, like a target rifle, great big old round thing all the way out. And I may start with that and leave this heavy angle off of this and see how it looks, because he's already told me he wants me to customize this. This is not supposed to be a replica of the original. I ought to get my outline drawn on there and just take it down with a bandsaw. I got to bring this thing down about that far on both sides. It's got to start that way back here and taper down. This is pretty close right at the end of this clip. Pretty close. something like that. I think I will just trim that off with the bandsaw real quick. Be right back. Can't cut any further down that way because the taper from here to here is set, and this sling mount, the screw that goes in there is at the right length for what this is now, and I will check that before I completely go with that, but I think my height this way is good.